Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about a line of dialogue that opened up an entirely new way to look at the franchise. Today, I wanted to talk about everything that we currently know about InGen's List. So before I even begin to elaborate on the dinosaurs and what they mean to canon, we have to go over what InGen's List actually is. In Jurassic Park 3, Alan Grant asks Billy to identify the animal that just got done destroying their plane. Billy assumes it to be either a Suchomimus or Baryonyx before he's corrected with the right species, Spinosaurus aegypticus. Now this really confuses Billy because that particular species was not on what the two of them knew as InGen's List, which right then and there was assumed by fans to be a collection of dinosaur species that the company had reportedly cloned. Now apart from this one single line of dialogue of the Spinosaurus not being on InGen's List, there is literally no other references to the list in the movie whatsoever. In fact, there are actually no other references to InGen's List in the entire original trilogy apart from this single line. Back when Jurassic Park and The Lost World were being made, the filmmakers simply chose whatever dinosaurs they liked before dropping them into the films. That's why if you go back and read old JP scripts from the first two movies, you'll see dinosaur names like Supersaurus, Maiasaura, and Hadrosaurus, despite them not being actual dinosaurs on either of the islands. Had it not been for that casual and short exchange between the characters in Jurassic Park 3, nobody would even be talking about what InGen's List is, because InGen's List did not exist before that movie came out. But because it did get brought up in the movie, fans began to wildly speculate about it in the following years. With all of that out of the way, these are the species that we know for a fact were cloned and reported on InGen's List: Brachiosaurus, Mamenchisaurus, Edmontosaurus, Parasaurolophus, Triceratops, Microceratus, Stegosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Gallimimus, T.rex, Velociraptor, Carnotaurus, Baryonyx, Dilophosaurus, Compsognathus, Pteranodon, Suchomimus, Allosaurus, Metriacanthosaurus, Herrerasaurus, Segisaurus, Dimorphodon, Apatosaurus, Corythosaurus, Pachyrhinosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Euplocephalus, and Proceratosaurus. Now, in the context of the wider film universe, it's important to note that InGen's initial list is something that stops at The Lost World. Everything after that includes dinosaurs that are not on InGen's list, which even includes animals like the Ceratosaur from Jurassic Park 3. The reason these dinosaurs are not on that initial list that Grant was talking about in JP3 is simply because they were cloned after that list was made public, which obviously would have been before the events of the third film. So to really streamline everything and put it into simple terms, InGen's list, as Grant knows it in JP3, is just a collection of dinosaur names that John Hammond had intended to have in the theme park. That's pretty much all it really is. Of course, after the events of The Lost World, and definitely after the events of Jurassic Park 3, more and more dinosaurs would be cloned for use in Jurassic World. But all of these animals exist on a list of InGens that is totally different from what it looked like in 2001. Creatures like the Mosasaurus, Stygimoloch, and the Pseudoceratops were all cloned after the events of the first three movies. So while they are listed as InGen cloned dinosaurs in the franchise, they aren't on that first list that Grant was talking about in the third film. And I really shouldn't have to say this, but if you ever see a dinosaur that clearly isn't in the first three movies or listed on InGen's list on the canon Dinosaur Protection Group website, just keep in mind that it more than likely isn't on the list. If it's a dinosaur that was featured in some kind of obscure behind-the-scenes production material for The Lost World, or an animal that never made the leap from script to screen, it obviously isn't an official dinosaur that was cloned for Jurassic Park. The reason I bring this up is because I've actually seen some people attempt to say that some of the skeletons and even mural arts that are on display in the visitor center count as dinosaurs on InGen's list. And while most people, I hope, will obviously know that to be utter nonsense, I still feel like I needed to mention it here for future's sake. With all of that being said, don't take this video as being the end-all be-all of InGen's List either, because it's actually drastically changed since I've started making YouTube videos. We could find out tomorrow that there were indeed more dinosaurs cloned in secret by InGen with some sort of new release. Jurassic Park the game tried to introduce the Tylosaurus and Troodons this way, and Trespasser attempted to do the same with the Albertosaurs. And while those stories aren't at all official canon, something could come along someday that actually does integrate them into the lore successfully. But for now, as far as the 1990s go, this is pretty much all there is. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video, and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.